Welcome to Viking Booty Hangout and this month's book discussion. And today we're going to discuss Mr. Impossible by
Loretta Chase.
Loretta Chase, sorry. Completely forgot. Loretta Chase, thank you. Yes, it's what you say, a bit Egyptian historic romance novel. Yes.
It's not Egyptian though, because she's not Egyptian. It's set in Egypt.
It's set in Egypt. Yes.
I was just going to say, it's not Egyptian history.
Yeah.
It's historic and it's set in Egypt, yes.
Yes. So a little bit generally what we thought about the book. And you can maybe start, Sandra.
All right, yeah. Well, I thought this was a really hilarious book. It was funny and clever, and it was a very easy read. I had a lot of fun reading it. Even though I could have some moment, I just rolled my eyes when they talked about, oh, he can't handle himself, he's a man, and men do stuff like that. And it's a trope we're used to, so it's just moving past that. But otherwise, it was a good structure. It was nice characters, and I had a lot of fun reading this. So yeah, I really liked it. I felt a little too naughty though when I read most of the book at work and during lunchtime and coming to the sexy parts and having colleagues around me, that just felt a little bit too naughty. But other than that,
you were listening to it, the audiobook, or
no, I read it.
No, you read it.
Ebook wise.
And the coworker next to you was like,
No, I keep my distance when I'm reading at work.
Clever.
Yeah. So that was my thoughts in general.
Yes, Christina?
I would say that I have to agree with most of what Sandra said. I finished the book. I finished it last night. I've been reading it at home. I read an ebook, which is the format that I prefer. And yes, it was funny and sexy and informative, and also like if you want to know all about the cool stuff in Egypt, it was a lot of information about that, which I enjoyed also. And interesting environment, good story, nice setup. Yeah, I would say I was very happy with this pick.
Yeah, I liked when I met your husband at work, and he told me that, Christina, she prefers reading her book than looking at TV with me. So a little mopey about that. So
sign of a good book, though.
You want to watch a movie? No, I'm going to read my book.
I'm off to Egypt.
Actually, more like, do you want to watch the football with me, or would you prefer to read the book? And then...
Oh.
All right.
Easy choice.
Yeah.
Ebba.
Yes. I also... okay, so I have about, I want to say, 50 or so pages left. And it's just about like, when everyone is meeting up and every, like the last thing is about, like the last act is about to happen. So a bit sad to not have been able to finish it until our meeting. But yeah, I liked it. There are a few things that I think could be improved upon in terms of like, not the main characters, but all the characters around the main characters, and also maybe some things in regards to those characters as well. But we can get into that. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was an easy read. I liked how she described environments, and I think it really feels like she did a lot of research for it. So I really appreciate it overall. But there are a few things that I am like, make me roll my eyes a bit, but we'll get into it.
I actually finished it just before the hangout, and I actually read like I don't know how many hours it was. It was like 12 hours or something, but I read like 5.5 hours just, yeah, I think actually Monday, Tuesday. So I had really hard time reading it this period because I had a very stressful month and I was kind of, my brain was all over the place and I couldn't really concentrate. So it just didn't happen. But it wasn't that I didn't like the book, it just I couldn't concentrate. But yesterday I put it together, and because I learned also about myself that if I do stuff at the same time, something like I don't really need every source thought process, I to take in the book better. I just because the other times I was trying to read it, I was also being with Elvira in Busfabrik.
Oh no, that sounds
That's
just.
that it doesn't work. Yeah, I know.
What were you thinking?
I don't know, because it's so boring. And I was like, okay, I just have to. She kind of likes to play her own, but I still have to see what she does. And I was thinking, okay, because I was there alone with no other adults, so I was thinking I could read this book at the same time. But no, that didn't work. But to sit and play some video games that doesn't need my whole attention and read the book actually worked pretty fine, because I read half the book in like 2 days. So it was definitely not a boring book, but it just sometimes I just hadn't found the right time for it. Yes, I liked it, but I think I listened to the audiobook, and there was some parts with just the audiobook that I didn't like. I didn't like the narrator that much. I think she made very weird voices, and I have a problem with that. Yeah, sometimes I just get distracted, and you have to tell me about the bad guys because I was mixing them up a lot. So please
One
help
of my
me.
pet peeves for this book. Yes, agreed.
So yeah, but otherwise, it was. I mean, the juicy parts, the sexy parts were really good. I've been missing that a lot. It's like, oh, this is what I want. Yeah, but I mean, it's good.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely and that's why I read these books, because I enjoy it. So yes, and I did think it took a long time before we got there. I don't know how you felt about it, but I was like, oh,
It was
can
a
we
bit
to the
like, get
good
on
part?
with it. Like,
Exactly,
what are you?
I've noticed this when you read, because when I read it on the Kindle, it always says like, how far have you come? So it's normally like the first sex would be at 50%, and then there would be, sometimes there's like a pattern.
It is definitely, but it's often a bit like oral sex, like 25%, isn't it? And then you kind of get to the bed, and then it kind of escalates from there.
Oh my god,
Well,
that makes me blush.
Well, this is historical setting, so they
Yeah.
are a little bit prude.
More prude, yes, exactly.
In modern times, yeah, I buy what you say.
Yes. I mean, it was fun. Definitely a good and fun read. Yes. So a bit of world building then. Yes. And I kind of want to mix it up. So we can start with you, Ebba, now.
Yeah. So world building, I think this was like 1812 or somewhere around there. And I feel like she, like I said before, I felt like she's done a lot of research. I think she might be applying it a bit too much at times, to a point where I feel like a lot of the, okay, so I'm gonna like be all over the place, but whatever. But a lot of like the secondary characters kind of came off as caricatures and sort of like stick figures to represent something about Egyptian society at the time that she's read about, and a bit ham-fisted, to be honest. Like, it was a bit much, and also like almost slightly racist, I want to say, to use a really big word, but like some of them barely felt like like people almost, and it rubbed me the wrong way in a bit, and it just felt like I think the book is from like 2005 or something, and it just came off as like 85 almost, like it was like from 1985 or something. Just some things that felt a bit stuffy, but everything worked in the world, and I did feel like it was a historical setting, which is important to believe the story and some of the conflicts that the main characters sort of perceive to have, why they couldn't be together. And I think it works for them and how they sort of grow as people and everything. So, and also the bad guys were definitely also a bit caricature in their what is it, mannerisms and what sort of made them want to do certain things. But I also thought that worked because none of it kind of felt real because of how things were in the time. So the fact that they are also a bit stereotypical, or like
stereotypical,
or super evil, that was fine for me. But yeah, I like the world building. Yeah.
I just wanted to.
But it was a bit racist, but I liked it. Still, okay. I don't know. It's really hard to like one like this.
The villains kind of remind.
I seem to touch my microphone too. I'm too way. I know I'm too way when in with my body. It's an issue, but I'm working on it.
It's okay.
Don't play away at least.
But it's hard to speak if you're. Yeah.
It's okay. No.
Yes, I'm done. Word building.
I just wanted to. I don't know what to say. Just flika in. How do you say that? To put in just an opinion that about the villains. That it kind of made me feel think about Indiana Jones. Even if this is said a lot earlier than that, but that's kind of the feelings I got from that.
Because they kind of have the same motivation, like for friends and like that sort of so yeah.
And also because it felt very archaeological. Yeah, the French are evil. This is not racist. I mean, the French are evil. I was kidding. Yes, but maybe I can continue on. So yes, I am not a person that know much about history. It's not really been my big interest, so I don't really know about how the people were at that time. So that's why I can't really say this is characters, is because maybe that's exactly how they were. I don't know, but I do understand that you feel that way, but I don't know how the culture actually was. And just if you're thinking about this, that they made them the father and mother and they wanted them to arrange marriages and that kind of thing, I think that's actually kind of correct. I don't know, but I believe
I have one piece of evidence why I think that while she's done a lot of research and why I'm still like I wouldn't take all of these things like
as facts.
But for example, I'm gonna get a bit nerdy here, but she uses the word corset, and at this time you called it stays. Unless I'm like absolutely wrong about the year, you use the word stays for it. So I would just assume like this is one of many minor things that are completely wrong or like pretty much wrong. So I would just assume that some of the things that felt really caricature and ham-fisted and sort of stereotypical also is that. So that's why I just felt like, the world building works, but I still feel like it rubs me the wrong way to some extent. Yeah.
But like I said, since I don't really know how it actually was, it's kind of hard to not buy it, if you know what I mean. I just felt it might have been this way. I don't know. It was the perfect amount of information about the world, and so that it made it easy to read, because I don't like when it's too much. It worked. It worked for me. Yes, Sandra.
Yeah. No, I agree that a lot of these stereotypical that word. Yeah, that was a little cringe-worthy. But I really liked visiting this world, and especially since when I was a little girl, I wanted to study hieroglyphs, and I wanted to visit Egypt, and I watched a lot of documentaries about Egypt, and I found it thrilling and something I grew away from. So obviously, I'm not living in Egypt and studying hieroglyphs today, but I've always been interested in that setting. And some things she just throws in the book so many times that I'd had to Google it, like this Les Encyclopédies d'Egypte, or what it was called. I googled that, and it's apparently 26 books that was released when Napoleon went to Egypt with a lot of people, and he had 16 people who just took down illustrations around the places they visited and stuff like that. So
Cool.
that was pretty cool to get a just taste of in this book, and that made me Google it, and I learned stuff. So that was really nice, and I also liked how the world felt a lot like The Mummy, and that was the reason we choose this book, because we wanted books that had that feeling, and yeah, even though I loved The Mummy today, that was the first movie I watched that I couldn't sleep after watching when I was little. I don't remember what year it came out, but I
99.
was
99.
99. Yeah, I was 8 year old. I had to sleep with my mommy. So,
Yeah.
so no, this world, I liked it, even if it had problems. So I just focused on the bits I liked.
Sometimes you just have to do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did it make you nostalgic to read it? To get back in those the little girl feelings about Egypt? Yes.
Yeah,
That's nice.
especially since we have this big book sale in Sweden now.
That's right.
I almost want to look up if there's a book about Egypt and hieroglyphs and stuff like that, but
Or maybe 26 books about
About
Egypt.
no, that feels too much. I'm not going to read those. But I'm asking myself why I stopped being interested by Egypt when this just reignite the flame. So yeah, I had a really fun time visiting this world, and it's something we haven't read before, and I've pretty much not read anything about Egypt since I was a teen. And then it was mystery gangs looking for treasures and stuff like that. And they are actually finding it, because kids looking for treasure in kids' book, of course they find the treasure. But that was also nice that they didn't find any big treasures in the end of this book.
I agree.
We just
love.
Exactly.
and that's the biggest treasure. Yeah. All right, they didn't find gold or stuff like that.
But and they weren't really into that anyway. They she just wanted the historical value of that.
She wanted to
I have two suggestions. If someone wants easily digestible ancient Egyptian content.
Yes.
So one is there is an Egyptologist on Instagram called Colleen Darnell, her handle is vintage_Egyptologist. And she's pretty cool. She's very into the 20s look. So that's a cool combination. And then there's also a book that I'm reading right now, which is Ancient Egyptian Magic by Christina Riggs. And it's also it isn't like it's just a handbook for, it's not exactly that. It's like a history book with bite-sized sort of, she takes, she uses magic as sort of like the starting point, and then she goes into different directions, and it's really interesting, and it's a nice looking book as well, which is also fun to have in your
it's a plus.
library. So yeah, two small suggestions.
Christina.
Ooh, what to add? I am also like a childhood fan of like Egypt, and I read a lot about all of the mythologies, the big ones like the Egyptian and the Greeks and the Romans and the Norse, and there's a few packages.
Yeah,
you kind of
more than one.
Packages, I love that.
So there was, you recognized a lot of, like the artifacts and the sites that they visit. It's places that you've read about, and it was fun to have them like described in this, like it's new, and we are experiencing this for the first time, and we don't know what's here, and we're here to figure it out. And we just had like a period where we went down one of those rabbit holes with the YouTube videos about the pyramids and all the videos from inside, and there's some alien theories. But it's been fun. So I've actually seen videos from the insides of these pyramids quite recently, and it's so cramped, and so it's pretty claustrophobic, and it's pretty like primitive, and it looks like it can fall down at any moment. So it was easy to imagine these, because there's a few scenes inside, and she doesn't like the small spaces, and I think they described it was very easy to feel like you were there. So I would say in the physical world building, not so much about the characters. I think she did it very well, and this is where I agree that she must have done a lot of research, since she very well described all of these different sites and what you would find there, and the cartouches and the hieroglyphs. We were actually recently at the British Museum, where the Rosetta Stone is stored. So I was fangirling a little bit there over the artifacts. Yeah, absolutely magnificent, and I recommend it. So what I was thinking about was also this: when we talk about world building, it is always interesting to see how they make this, like, how do we separate them from the rest of the world? I mean, it's set in this time, the classical Victorian. I mean, this is like Jane Austen, the whole pining, and I'm not allowed to tell him, and we can't get married, and this is a disgrace, and now I'm ashamed, and we have to be embarrassed. And I mean, this is a set of rules and reactions that are very easy to create a nice emotional story around. So, I mean, that is often why we set these costume dramas in this period of time, especially with English people who are so stuck up at this time. And kind of funny. And how she just lifts them out and puts them on the boat when it is a good thing for the story to have them on a boat a little bit together. So she's done the setting of the story very well, I think, and I think that was
agreed.
That I appreciated with the world building. Even if, yes, I mean, all the Egyptians are pretty much painted with the same kind of brush. I agree with you, but it's like they're all just manifestations of their situation and their culture, and like in this part of the country, everybody's like this. So
precisely, yes.
I totally see where you're coming from. Yes, they're like a backdrop for the story.
Very much so. Yeah.
So I agree with that. And also we have the two villains, which are also very stereotypical. That's absolutely true. But there were many aspects of this world building that I really appreciated, and maybe the people gallery in the secondary characters was maybe not the strongest.
Yeah, the tomb things were great, I thought. Definitely. Like anything with that was just like...
Yes, like when they crawl out through this tunnel, like from the running from the
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Like
Love that. It really felt like just like yucky and
yeah, you could almost
in a good way, you
smell
know.
it.
Yes.
Was my like you could almost smell it like it was really like
dusty
dense.
and
Yeah,
cramped
exactly.
and just like,
It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
really
You're
good.
very good at describing like the atmosphere in a way that
Yes.
you feel
Yes.
you were definitely brought in an emotional way in the story.
So the characters. So I don't remember who started last time, but okay. So we can go Sandra and then Christina. So we'll mix it up a little bit. Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. I don't remember her name now. Mrs.
Daphne.
Daphne Pembroke, right?
Pembroke,
Or
yes.
Yeah. Daphne. I loved her. Such a geek and just. It's amazing. Like I told you earlier, I wanted to study hieroglyphs when I was younger, but in this setting, you can't just look in a book and see this means this. She has to go into the understanding of a language that no one can read, and that is just amazing, and that is her core, and having these assholes around her she has to navigate. It's such a good
Except
setting.
her brother. Her brother
Yeah,
is good.
yes.
Brother
There
is
are
a saint.
exceptions. Yeah,
I mean,
a true
that's
saint.
why. Yeah.
No, the brother is golden, and of course the love interest. That
Yes, of course.
he doesn't judge her. He has his own backpack with stuff that he has to carry around, and meeting her is just a trivial thing because he's been through so much. So
He's a bit of a vigilante, like
yeah,
he's just doing his own thing and just
I'm
not really
actually,
have a path. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going there. No, maybe not
yeah.
a vigilante. What would you call it? A vagabond? No, I don't know what you call
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
A vagabond.
That
A
sounds
drifter,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Good description. Well, I actually get a little bit curious if no one here has read the first book, right?
No.
No. So I'm curious if he's in the first book, because do we get to see how he ends up in Egypt, or do they just talk about him like he's
I thought it
already
was-
a person far away in the first book? Or do we actually see what makes him get downgraded to go be in Egypt, far away from England? And
I didn't even know it was the second book of the series. I didn't know actually.
yeah, it is.
I think there's a
Okay.
few in the series.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's
Maybe-
about family, right?
Yeah, the brothers.
I think there's a bunch of brothers or something.
Oh, of course, but maybe it's
Yeah.
about another brothers and his love interest.
Yes.
Oh, that
like
makes the very last part of the book make sense now. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that is also why they bring up his brother that's been at Waterloo and stuff like that. I think that's... I'm not sure we followed that brother in the first book, or if they talk about that brother a lot in the first book as well.
I think that's the first brother, because doesn't he mention, or at least like think in his brain, how his brother met someone and that someone may have been in
of
contact with
course.
her. There was some connection at least.
Yeah. No, but it was interesting characters, and they were so similar and so different at the same time, the two main characters. So that was really nice to follow them along. and the brother, he was also a really nice character, and he used his brain because he hadn't any brawns to use, being captivated and all. And I agree what you said earlier, that it was a bit of a struggle to actually maintain who was the bad guy at the French side and who was the bad guy at the English side, or if there were a third bad guy somewhere along.
Yeah,
But,
and they're plotting. It was like I think he is sending people to do that thing now,
Yeah.
or was it maybe the English person? I was like,
but
it
along,
was sort of
yeah, along the way, I thought it sorted itself out.
Yeah.
So at the middle part and towards the end, I didn't have that much problems.
differentiating.
Yes, that word.
Yeah.
The guys. And I'm not sure you read the postscript of the book. Not
The epilogue?
No, not the epilogue. After the epilogue,
Okay,
they
no.
had a postscript, and you know the bad French guy who was in the book. In the postscript, they talk about him like, in August, Jean-Claude de Waal boarded a ship bound for France, blah, 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 blah. So he was an actual historical figure.
Cool.
She
Cool.
wove into the story. So that was nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
he
yeah.
an asshole in real
Got
life
some
as well?
Googling to do.
Was he what?
A bad guy?
I'm not sure, but he was looking for treasures for France.
But was it this that he
Yeah.
was so angry about the Rosetta Stone?
Yes.
That was his motive.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, no, that was nice trivia. So yeah,
It's always nice to have an actual connection to the story and the real world, especially when we're reading non-paranormal stories.
Yeah.
yes. All right. We almost had a ghost in this story. So,
Yes.
Stretch it a bit and
yay! It was pretend ghost, so almost paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
What ghost?
What goes?
like what?
Yes. Christina.
yes, characters.
Characters, yes.
Yeah, yes, Daphne she was a great nerd. Love it. But that was one of few moments when I was a little bit annoyed with this book, was her inner monologues, that she was so. Sure. Her ex was an asshole, but I mean, she doesn't need to keep like, I'm so terrible and I'm so boring and he's never going to
so bookish.
He asked me to marry him, but he couldn't mean it. I mean, I'm so boring. So how could anybody enjoy being with me when I'm this great boring person and I'm not really this fun? This is I'm really very So that was maybe the only thing that I didn't really like. So Daphne was. Yeah, she was fine, but she also annoyed me a bit. But it was well written. I mean, getting the characters to make you feel something is a good thing, I suppose. Rupert, I liked him. He was more my style. He was, he didn't mind poking fun of people and looking a little bit, silly in the process. And he had lots of fun, and he was of course, he was beautiful and dashing and awesome and everything.
Of course.
Loved it. They made a great couple, and I think, I would say that he was probably my favorite character. But then there was also the brother, which was kind of, he was better in person. When Daphne was thinking about him, and it's like, he's been so kind to me, I can't absolutely embarrass him. I mean, like, that's not a very nice person. And he was a nice person, I think. So I think she made him look worse, even though by treating him with such respect. That's what he wanted.
But it was because she was very like you said, but what also annoyed me that she was very, what you say, when you talk down to yourself all the time, and
Yes.
Self-deprecating or
yes,
but it's
exactly. Mm,
not in the fun way, in the bad way.
not
Yeah.
in a fun, no,
Yeah.
and that kind of rubbed it up of like she cared more about her brothers, what he would think, but he does everything for her. I feel like I mean, I don't know if this person really exists to be this this good. I think he was a saint. I don't know. He was a bit weird when he was like captured sometimes in a monologue, but I kind of liked him. But how she described him felt like a saint to me. Yeah, sorry.
No, I completely agree. So I think that that was an interesting difference there in how the brother actually was described as a person and how she described the brother as a person.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
What else? What other characters did we have?
The
The
villains.
Duval, the
Yeah.
French villain who was
Duval.
kind of just bad, and
Like
then there was-
twirling his mustache.
Ebba, I don't think they described him twirling his mustache. That's
No,
just
no,
you.
he did though. She just forgot to write it.
No.
and then we had this English like double crossing bad guy who was the Golden Devil who was so friendly when you were facing him, and then he was so not so nice behind the scenes. And the reason I think or it was a bit confusing was like we had the Duval bad guy and the Noxley bad guy, and then we had these like the second guys as well. Was it Farouk and Ghazi?
And
Ghazi.
Ghazi, yes.
Yeah. So I think
Yes.
that was what was also big because they were both. I mean, they were so similar. They were like
Yes,
local thugs
couldn't
with
differentiate.
like no morals. So that was that. I think that was why it made it so confusing. Because, and then so
I kind of just piggybacking on that, but I kind of think maybe there should have just been one bad guy in this book. Just simplify it a little bit. Have henchmen, definitely, but like make those henchmen a bit more distinguishable, or like is distinguishable the right word?
Yes.
Like and maybe that, but like you said, Sandra, like by the half point or so in the book, then things were starting to like you could differ the two, but it could have maybe made that part of the book more interesting, I think.
but they were very important plot points, both of them. I mean, Noxley we see in the beginning as being the savior and her friend, and the reason that, and he's the one who goes after the brother, like helps her to find her brother.
True.
While Duval is then the main bad guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And Noxley also turns on her later and is the guy who
I
gets
think this is where I'm missing like the last 60 50 pages of like where things are going to come together, and it's going to be like, you know, I think I'm just missing that piece, why I'm just like I don't have it fully in my head yet, so I might be a bit more like,
if
yeah,
you
that
only
turned
have
out great.
40, 50 pages left,
No, 50, 60.
they must both be pretty out of the picture now.
No, they are like, I think the last thing I was at like was one of the bad guys inner monologue thing.
Who is where? Where is the bad guy?
They are so we're gonna get into spoiler, but of course like our hangouts are usually kind
Where
of
is the
spoiler.
spoiler?
Yeah.
But she
There we go.
yeah. I love that news anchor style.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. So Rupert has been killed. She thinks he's been killed. So I think it was whoever's henchman was at the boat. No, that was Noxley's men.
That was Noxley's
boarded
men,
the
yes.
boat, and she thinks Rupert is dead now. I honestly cannot remember where Duval is right now, but I'm sure we're gonna have a big fight soon. maybe
No,
some
they will
tombstone.
cuddle. Come on.
Like, surprise party.
But then you've got the pretty. Then you've got some ways to go yet.
Yes. Which
Yeah.
is like I think like I have this final piece which I think will
Yes,
make things
yes.
fall into place nice and just like maybe make me a bit what do you say? Stingy. Stingsly. What would you? I don't know. Proper word for it. But
Yeah.
well, sorry. What did you say?
I said cross, that you were a bit upset with the book. You don't really like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It might help with that.
But I think what you said, Christina, that the henchmen were so similar, that really made it foggy in your mind, because that made it harder to separate them.
Who sent who? That was like mainly like
Yeah, especially since we meet Noxley so many times, and he gets very distinguished. But then we have the henchman that's just running around doing things, and we can't remember who sent whom, and especially that is confusing.
And I was thinking, since I was kind of distracted in this part of the book, that when they went to the villain's point of view, was that actually necessary to know their inner monologues and how they were discussed? That confused me a bit, but yeah, maybe
I think
it was.
Would have been super confusing if we wouldn't have had that.
Okay.
Like I'm already confused.
I don't. I kind of zoned out those parts. I thought it was so boring. So that's why
you were like, get to the sex scenes already.
Exactly. I'm not interested in this. I don't care.
Get on with it.
Because it was so much about, and I was really confused about who actually took the brother. Was that Duval who took the brother?
Yeah.
And then Noxley came on the boat, and then when he was the ghost, what I don't understand that part. Please explain to me, why was he a ghost in some
because
tomb?
he had the chains on him,
and he was also confused who was bad guys and who were
good.
Nobody were good guys. So
okay, but who had him in the chains and in the tomb? That was Duval.
Yeah, yes. And his henchman Farouk had him in chains.
But what happened to the boat?
Well,
did that go down?
Yeah, but
right?
I thought Miles actually escaped from the boat, but then he was in chains, and that's what I missed about what happened.
Okay, I remember there being like a fight or something, but I must have just like smooshed things together.
You're all correct. You're all correct.
Okay.
All right, so Miles are bound in the boat by Duval's guys, and then Noxley's henchman comes and tries to rescue him, but Miles thinks it's bandits, so he thinks he's screwed. So
yes, this makes sense.
He's bound, and he knows that I can't take these guys in a fight. He tries to lure them away by pretending to be a ghost. They jump off the boat.
Okay.
And all Egyptian people believe in ghosts. So
yes.
And are easily fooled.
It's a jinn.
And he takes himself ashore and runs into a cave and meets a mongoose. So,
yes, but he wasn't a prisoner when he meets the mongoose.
He was still in chains, but he had escaped. Yes,
but he had escaped. Okay.
He was wearing it as a fashion statement at that point.
Okay.
Like, he was just into the style. Okay.
Okay, and how did the mongoose get his shirt? Please tell me, how did the mongoose get his shirt? I missed that part as well.
I have no idea.
What?
Well, it's Noxley's guys that eventually finds him when they've asked around, and the villagers are talking about a ghost in a cave, and they find him, they help him, they get him new clothes. So he leaves his old clothes in the cave.
Okay.
And the mongoose has the clothes.
Okay, for some reason. I thought it was like,
You-
did she really like him so much? So he needs his clothes. I didn't.
You want to know
Like
something
the
funny?
mongoose, fish.
I don't know what a mongoose is.
Me
Like,
neither.
I
What's
was
a
like,
mongoose?
Google
I need,
Google
I
it.
need to
is
Google
it a
it.
cat?
Yes.
Is it a reptile?
But
I have no idea.
Miles fishes get some fish and he cooks them.
Yes.
He gives the mongoose a fish. So the mongoose likes
Can
mice.
eat fish.
Yeah.
They eat everything.
Okay,
So-
I have to
Sorry.
Google mongoose.
Miles feeds the mongoose, so the mongoose likes Miles and Miles' shirt.
Mongoose.
And then when Noxley's men arrive, they
Oh.
kill the mongoose.
Oh my god, I
The
love mongoose.
Hates Noxley, but he likes Miles. Mongoose
Yes.
like food, no like kick.
Okay.
Yes. And he knows
They do look like
they're
they
all
like
bad
mice. It's adorable. I love it so much. Oh my god, this one had like smiles.
Kerstin is the only
I
one
wish I
that
knew
can
what a mongoose
Yeah.
was
Yes.
earlier.
I am
share the screen right.
I'm
Yes.
trying
Share
to
mongoose.
do that.
Yes.
There we go.
I
Mhm.
mean,
There's a mongoose.
come on, look at that. Look, the number, the number
This.
3 one. No, no,
Sorry.
that
It was
one.
just this one.
That one. Look at that. Look at that face.
Mhm.
I would say the one that's 31 there in the middle, that's so cute.
The
Smiling.
31. Yes, that one.
Oh, that's
like-
what. Yes.
That's Marigold. That's Marigold.
Yeah.
Yay.
Too cute. Too cute. Like imagine that attacking one of the henchmen. Love it.
Yes.
Really wish I would have Googled mongoose earlier.
Yes.
Oh, damn
too.
it. Oh well.
Yeah, you
Oh,
have
well.
to reread the book now.
Yes.
Sorry.
Starting over. Starting over.
Activist of what the mongoose.
Oh.
Yeah, that was also a very nice character. I don't know how good mongoose are to recognize them.
It was
But we like the mongoose.
Yes.
it was also a donkey that had a bit played a part.
A-
What was
a
it?
what?
What was it?
Right.
The donkey. What was her name?
Oh, Hermione.
Hermione. Yes.
I liked Hermione too. She also had a
Yeah.
good character.
Rupert just
Yes.
named all
Yes.
animals and
And
people
humans.
around.
Which
And
was like a
humans.
little bit like, what the fuck? But
Name is
okay.
Italy. No, his name is Tom. Yes.
Yeah,
He
I was like,
yes,
okay,
he
Rupert, you
was.
have you need to show me you're a good person from now on. And he did do that, but like it took me a while to warm up to him
Yeah.
after that. I was like,
Yeah, that was one of the
Inappropriate,
stuff
Rupert.
I had to roll my eyes at when he.
yes.
I can pronounce your Egyptian name. You are
Still are you?
It was like, then you are.
Maybe that is a bit stereotypical. Okay, stereotypical about Englishmen. I
and
don't
like
know.
aristocratic. I think
Yeah.
that was the vibe
Yeah.
he was going for. Like, just like, oh, like, but he, you know, he showed to be a
Imperialist
better.
bastard.
Yeah. Yes.
I call you whatever I want.
Yes. You're
Yes.
Tom now.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about characters then?
Yes, we're still into characters, but I think we're kind of done. So,
Oh no, I have
relation-
something about.
Oh, you have
characters, though.
something. Yes,
One goose to pick, or one unplucked goose. Is that
a
the
mongoose
expression?
to pick.
No, I don't wanna pick
I was
Marigold.
kidding.
Too cute. Okay, so I
Well,
have.
you can pick Marigold up.
I can pick. Yes, I have one marigold to pick up.
Yes.
But yeah, so just like one minor thing. I agree with you, Christina, that Rupert was the better character of the two, in terms of how much I liked them, and also minor annoyance at Daphne's like, I'm not like other girls. I was like, oh, stop it.
And the word bookish
Hell.
made me crazy. I was like, what's wrong with books? Just shut up. No.
Yeah, so it's like that part of her, but I do think like after a while there was like at one point she was like she had some like self-realization. Like she unfortunately had to ask Rupert for confirmation on this, but like she was like, oh, I'm not unwomanly then, because like she was going on and on for the book, like how she wasn't like feminine and how men were like, oh, she's too smart and other women aren't interested in things. Like she was very like, she was like putting down other women while putting down herself, but like also humble bragging at the same time, which was like weird. And then but I also felt like the way her ex-husband had treated her
Yes.
sort of made her sense of herself and also her sense of other like men and women a bit skewed. And I think like she sort of changed her personality for the better as the book got along, and some realizations where I don't think that's part of her character kind of by the end of the book, which I think was really like a growth, something that made me annoyed so many times, which then actually, you know, she made an improvement upon, which I thought was a good thing by then, actually.
Yes, and I just remember
annoying, but
a
then
thing.
She married that abusive guy, wasn't she? So
54-year-old when she was 19 and a half. Good stuff. That's
not-
the thing only Brad Pitt can get away with. Or Leonardo DiCaprio. That's their kind of deal. Yeah.
she's excused, I suppose. But yes, it was nice to see the personal growth.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to. I know I've probably already said that I have the same feeling about Daphne. About she was very self-deprecating and sometimes really annoying. And this is a bit spoiler alert, and I don't know if you want
It's
to
fine.
hear this, but I got angry when he actually asked her to marry her, and she still doesn't believe him that he loves her. And I was like, how can you not see that he loves you? I don't understand. That made me very roll my eyes.
Well,
I don't
the
know.
first time or the second time?
The first time.
The first
Yeah,
time.
but that was so spontaneous. I think it was a bit too
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Yes, but still, she had those feelings that
Yeah.
she still thought about him like he was just gonna run her over and then go away. But no,
Yeah, but
no.
also that proposal were a little bit like, all right,
Lackluster,
so
yeah.
if we're going to keep having sex, we can get married to keep doing that. That was my feeling about that.
I didn't think that at all.
Like we have his inner monologue, like we kind of understand like where he's coming from, so we understand like, but I almost felt like she's sort of by the end of it, like she's almost like the one who is running away from him, and sort of it like the way she thought of Rupert was like kind of the way like she was treating him for the latter
maybe
part. I thought
did he actually ask her to marry her 3 times? Am I wrong now?
Two
No.
times.
2 times. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
And the second time she's prepared.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, okay, I do understand that maybe she wouldn't say yes, but still, I think it's pretty clear that he's into her and not just the sex. I don't know. That's how I felt about it, and I don't.
But she's had
understand.
a shitty marriage, though. Like, I just think
Yeah.
she's
But how long? How long were they married? Actually, I don't know how old she is.
8 years or something. I think it was a long marriage.
Yeah, and we actually have Rupert saying himself that when he speaks to the brother later on, spoiler, that and Miles says, "Oh my God, you're in love with my sister." Oh, right. Is that the feeling I'm feeling? So even though even though he has feelings, he can't even himself put the finger on that this is love. So
maybe that is
how is Daphne supposed to know that he loves her
Fair
when
point. Yeah.
he doesn't know it himself?
Fair point. And maybe it is because we see his inner monologue that we kind of feels it. But it's still that way that she's...
Especially when we're reading a romance book and we know it's about romance.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know the signals like, this is where it's going.
I guess. But it's just stop talking down to yourself all the time.
Yes, yes.
Get a grip, woman.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a little bit. Okay, so we're kind of into it already, but relationships and yeah, do we have any more to say about it? I mean, it felt that they were in the same level. That's not always the case with these romance books.
No,
Yeah,
I liked it, and especially like we talked about all the feelings, and they doesn't know what they are feeling, but especially the physical parts were really nice to read, because they share so much body language and the come hither
chemistry.
energy they are sending to each other, and especially that part was really nice in this relationship to read, and not just the sexy part, but
But yeah,
all the
not
things
exactly. I know
leading
what you
to
mean.
those as well.
Yes, it was very good descriptions of their kind of interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was nice, refreshing with like a female character who's actually like openly horny. She's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
she has a
Yes.
lot of sexy feelings, and
Yes.
Yeah.
she's embarrassed about them, but we get to like see them. in the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah.
thought it was good. And their
Agree.
relationship is like she is so um, tightly controlled. Like she knows what she's doing every day, and when her brother gets kidnapped, it's not like she has an option what she should do. She needs to find someone who can help her find him, and she gets Rupert. But Rupert is more like, yeah, I'm not doing anything else, so I might as well.
And also, she sounds
Why
hot.
Go to rear. So like he has this journey, and he just tags along, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's a good setup. So it's good that he's so free, because then they can actually spend when they spend all this time on the boat and they get to know each other so well. It's a good start of a relationship. That I also like the relationship very much.
I just need to put it out there, just so you know, since I read the audiobook and I kind of wish I didn't, because she made him sound very. You kind of didn't like him as much because of her voice of him, because he talked like a little bit down to her all the time. That's not. I was like, I don't think this is how he speaks to her, but she made him like, oh, I'm just this aristocrat. That he was. I don't know, but I kind of like, no, I don't believe, because the other stuff he did was not like that. So that's why I didn't like
I think
the
it came
audiobook.
off as more like you described it way earlier before, Christina, but like I think like a bit like bjuda på sig själv. How would you
Exactly. Know what I mean. I
funny
mean, he
would be the wrong
but he kind of make funny of both
Yeah.
himself and others, and
and it's just like not too serious.
Yeah.
So the tone wouldn't be like
Superior.
looking down, even
No.
if
Yeah.
they were like that, they didn't feel like that. He felt
No.
a bit
Busig.
English upper class at times, like we've discussed and things like, but like he didn't feel like kind of like that. I feel
No.
like, yeah.
No, and I since I still got like other things that he said, so I did feel like, no, this is not how he actually is. But it made me in the beginning feel like I don't like this character, just because she still made that voice through the whole book, and that annoyed me.
It's such
A
a pity
lot.
that audiobooks are either
Yes.
hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I actually sometimes I just read the books that are for blind people, because that's no emotions in the voices. It's
Oh.
just text, and I actually would like that. I want to kind of just get in the emotions myself, because sometimes they just completely miss the character and kind of destroys the whole book. But if I'm not blind, I can't read those books. I actually asked one time at the library, and they say no.
And they were like,
No. So the story, how it kind of developed over time, and what you liked. Did it caught your interest? How did it continue on? Bit. Maybe Ebba, you can start.
yeah. So I'm not done, as I've said many times. I have
right,
a little bit
you're not
while to
done.
go, but I think I both. I think I liked it, but I was also a little bit frustrated with it because I don't know if the missing brother would have been like is my favorite type of a thing that gets the story ball rolling, kind of. Not the bowl, the ball. Sorry, I misspoke. But like, I didn't. I don't know. And then how she went about finding clues to find Miles also felt a little bit. I don't know. Choppy would be the right word. It just didn't like jive with me completely. The story. But I still felt like the scenes that happened were good and entertaining and funny and like thrilling at times, like when they were stuck in the tombs and they were like they didn't have a light source and things like that. So I like that, but I think I felt like something was maybe missing a little bit for me story wise, even though I enjoyed most of it. But I haven't formulated it completely in my head, as you can tell.
I agree. I like it's like the stories. It's a good, exciting story. It's good action, and it's lots of like progress all the time. It's a very. I mean, this would make a good movie. It's lots of action and lots of like very good happening all the time. But there are some parts, like there is one part where Miles is kidnapped, and they know that he has been retrieved by the English bad guy. They don't know it's a bad guy, and then they decide to like keep going and let's visit a different place.
Yes. Makes no sense.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
We have to go so fast. We're in a hurry and we're like 3 days behind, and then it's like, oh, they're the other way. Let's go do
sightseeing time. Like, makes no sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
very pivotal moment in the relationship development and all that. And
absolutely.
Like, why are you here?
Yes, I agree. I agree.
I also didn't enjoy that. When there was a woman and a child who was ill, and I didn't like that. How do I put this? But I didn't kind of like that they were like there and they were like saving the local people, and then they have a woman with a baby on the boat all of a sudden, and I was like, why? I don't know. It just felt weird to me, and I was like, I don't know if I care about these people, and now he's like the father of the house or something.
Yeah,
yeah. This is weird. It doesn't move the plot along to my like how I perceived it, and it just felt like meandering, and you could have easily cut that, and it would have felt exactly the same to me, just more concise and better. So just a few things like that, just like why, basically.
But she is the witness that Noxley uses to find the brother.
Sure, but someone else could have been. I feel like Lena, for example, give her something more to do. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yes, sure.
Ebba, you said that you weren't sure about the whole premise with a brother being taken. Do you have any other thought about what could have gotten the ball rolling?
I was thinking about like what is it about that I don't, and I think maybe I would have needed more interactions between the two or something in the beginning, so that I care about Miles more, maybe, or maybe like a sort of a race to find the tomb, and it wouldn't have needed to be specifically a brother missing. We could have even lowered the stakes, like she wanted to be the first woman to find a certain tomb, and you have Duval and Oxley, and they are like all of them are butting heads, and they're just trying to find the right route and like finding and they could be, I don't know, something like that maybe. And I also felt like it was kind of weird the way they were trying to find Miles in the beginning, and it just didn't feel like the best way maybe. And then I was just like, I was like, I can see these characters in these environments just like happening slightly differently, and it would have been better to me. But I don't have like a specific.
Okay, like you said, it felt like they had really good scenes, but it wasn't a perfect red thread through it. And I didn't really. Why were they in the tombs? I know she wanted to look at the tombs, but why were they there when they were looking for Miles?
I mean, like this shouldn't even be like a question you have to ask yourself with a book when they're in tomb. And like I couldn't even like say for certain. No. I think there were like clues and things that they were like, oh, I think maybe gone this way perhaps, but it didn't make complete sense. And like I think that's one of the problems. Like it's just like, the pieces are here, but they just
it didn't really fit.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the author, because they had a reason, but the first tomb they went to was because that was the last place Miles had been seen.
Yes.
That is why they went to that place.
That one made sense.
But the next step they take is going to the person who sold him the papyrus that everyone wants. And that should have been the first place they went to. But the author, I think, just wanted to show us these places. So she made up excuses to take us to the first tomb before they went to... I don't remember his name.
And that's why I think like the motivation is sort of off. Like I think she should have been on a quest to find something. Like make it like, if you're gonna take inspiration from Indiana Jones, you might as well do Indiana Jones. Like, find the tomb, and like just have that. Don't involve like a missing brother. The brother can be a character, and like there can be some sort of kidnapping to, you know, some sort of ransom like somewhere, but it's like just like a shoot off to an obstacle where the goal is finding the tomb or something. I don't know. Just to sort of...
It's the part when they realize the ghost is Miles that really confused me, because that's why when they suddenly wasn't looking for him anymore, right?
What do you mean?
I, like Christina said, that the Egyptians that all believe in ghosts, they were talking about this ghost, and they were like, that's Miles. And then I should have felt like, shouldn't they just go and get him? No, we're going to go up in a sandstorm or something. I don't know. It was really...
sandstorm.
No, I don't know. The thing is...
Yeah, that's kind of... She was like, I need that 1999 mummy scene in with the sandstorm. I need that.
Yes.
So I'm going to go this way.
But I suppose it's like, they know that he has escaped Duval, and they know that Noxley was going after him, and now they think that Duval is going to go after Daphne. So they need to keep Daphne out of the way.
Also, we needed the sex scene in the storm.
Yes,
exactly.
And also,
in the tomb.
Statues that I wanted to show you.
Yes.
Loretta loves these statues. She just want to share them.
Oh, they didn't
I can admire.
make a reason for them to go.
Yes.
Like, I get it, Loretta. I get it.
So there is stories, but there's also demonstration of cool Egyptian things.
Like, she should have had pictures in this book, though. Like and here is Ramesses. Like,
a great movie. If they just
tweak things.
The movie still needs a good story and not plot holes, though.
You got to just shift them around. Shift them
Ah,
around. a
okay,
little
shift
bit.
them around. Okay.
Scratch some characters, shift them around, give them more less
Yeah, and there
stereotypical
are so
features.
many action movies that doesn't have good plots, but they can be entertaining.
It's not a problem. It's not a
Okay, okay,
problem.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Especially
And you might want to make like one of them Egyptian, maybe. I don't know. That could be also a little bit of more of a modern take. Also, maybe I don't know. Yeah.
Ooh, have you guys seen Moon Knight?
No.
No. That was beyond my expectations.
Oh, really?
So
Is that an action movie or what?
it's a Marvel TV series set with Egyptians gods.
Ooh.
So
Sounds nice.
my expectation were here you can't see them. they are so low, and I think that was one of the best TV series they've made
Oh, cool.
so far. So recommend, especially if you want to keep going with the Egyptian team after this book.
Yes, if you want to overdose on Egyptian.
Yeah.
You're at the right pace.
We don't have the sexy times like in this book, but cool Egyptian gods and stuff like that.
Have to do.
Tip. Yeah.
Okay, now we come to the ending, and there are gonna be some spoiler alert. So I better put this up. And I can start with just saying I like the ending. I like the kind of that they connected the things that he got arrested for in the beginning to the end. I like that they kind of made that get together. But and I kind of zoned out again with the epilogue. Sorry, I don't know what that was about, and I felt that maybe that has a lot to do with this is the second book in this series as well. So maybe that's why I couldn't really take in exactly what they said. But I did like the ending so far. That maybe not really that spoilery, but anyone can take it.
I mean, it's a very happy ending. The bad guys die and the good guys fall in love and get married and live happily ever after, which is never a bad thing in my book if it's like believable. So, no, I like the ending. I thought it was good.
Yeah, especially the bad guy dying. That was just. Mwah. So, the only thing I felt not queasy about, but when I read this book and I knew there were a book before this one and books after this one, and this has such a special setting. So I felt unsure if I wanted to read another book in this series because I wasn't sure I wanted to spend time with these kinds of characters in an English setting. But the epilogue actually gave me a little bit of a taste what it could be like, because we met the mother and father and a brother to Rupert, and I might actually pick up another book in this series further on. So that is a good thing about the epilogue. Not much happens, but yeah, I'm open to continuing in this universe.
Okay, I kind of like this series when they can be a standalone, but also as a series. I like that. Doesn't have to be. It's not like a cliffhanger.
It's like small threads that will connect to other stories, but it's not like I don't understand this because I didn't read the first book.
Yes, exactly. That was Mr. Impossible. So next book is gonna be Strange Love by Anne Aguirre, and it's a sci-fi romance. So that's gonna be, I think it sounded really interesting, so I hope it's gonna deliver. And we will have our next hangout at April 29th.
No.
No,
March.
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 Damn it. I started with April 1st and then I changed it in the middle. Damn it. March.
Yeah.
Sorry. March 29. Hopefully. It might change. We'll see if it works for
Yeah.
Linnea. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. So you can find our social media here in Ink bio, or we have Twitter and Instagram. Also, just search Viking Booty BC or Book Club. You can find us there. Follow us. So yes, we will see you next month then.
Right.